What is going on, everyone? It's time for Technique Tuesday, and today I want to show you a couple of exercises that's going to help your balance in your boxing and kickboxing to be a lot better. It actually does make a big difference to have better proprioception in your foot. What proprioception is basically the ability to be able to detect feedback from the floor. And that feedback is going to cause your muscles to fire stronger and faster and be able to help you to have better balance. So the first one we're going to get into is our tennis ball throw and catch. So this one is not too much proprioception, but it's going to work on your hand-eye coordination. Hand-eye coordination is awesome for focus in fighting. Whenever we're fighting, we need to be 100% focused, and that's all we can do here. And your eyes are going to become more attuned to things coming at you and going away from you, which is super important for boxing. Next, we're going to be moving back and forth to add a little bit more of a challenge for you to be able to have to throw the ball harder and to be able to catch it coming back faster. And then it's just different distance as well. So just imagine your opponent is moving back and forth. We need to be able to work on that as well. Next up is the single leg tennis ball catch and throw. So this one is a lot more proprioception. Your ankle stabilizers and knee stabilizers are going to be working like crazy to keep you on one leg. We're trying to alternate your arms as well. I forgot to mention that for all of the throws. So just keep alternating which arm that you're using to catch and throw. And yeah, try your best to stay on one foot. It's harder than it looks. Next is the lateral throw. So we're facing sideways towards the wall or adjacent towards the wall, and we're going to be throwing the ball in a way that it's going to come straight out in front of us, and we need to grab it like a punch. And this is really good because it's going to help you to get a different angle for your hand-eye coordination. It's way harder than it looks. I gotta practice this one more for sure, but I thought I'd show this one off because I usually don't see people doing it. We can work in your stance as well, your fighting stance. So go into orthodox or southpaw if that's what you want to work on. Keep one hand up and try and track the ball going sideways until it's in front of you and you can grab it right away. Okay, next up is going to be your single leg on the Bosu catch and throw. So Bosu balls are great for working on your stabilizers and helping you to kind of just like have a lot of different feedback in your foot that won't be there in the ring, of course, but they're gonna make you way better at being able to balance. Next up is our stance bounce, forward and back from the Bosu. So I'm trying to work on different angles, so diagonally on both sides and front and back in the middle. Try and keep an even movement, try not to stop, be really fluid in your movement, keep your hands up. Fighting stance, you should all know that. Next up is your Bosu bounce, catch and throw with the tennis ball. So this one creates really good rhythm for you as fighters because you're always going to be moving back and forth. And for fighting, that's super important, but we're going to add a focus and hand-eye coordination aspect into this training, and it's really going to help you to have awesome hand-eye and movement and fluidity. Next up, we have your banded ice skater. You're going to keep the handle of the resistance band in the middle of your body the whole time. And we're going to jump to the far side and try and hold for a quick second and come back and hold for another second. And this is going to challenge your core, your stabilizers in the lower part of your body, and your shoulder as well. But yeah, it's an awesome exercise for learning how to balance on one leg, which is a lot of time what you have to do. So when you throw across, your ankle turns and you're pretty much on your toe for the most part. And it can even go like glide off of the floor. So staying on that one foot is actually a big part of boxing. Next is going to be the banded lateral stance walk. So we're moving laterally across while keeping your hands stable. Make sure you're not rotating your shoulders or your hips at all. Keep your hips square towards your opponent and keep your shoulders square as well. Next is your stance forward and back. So we're keeping the band under our armpits here, but our hands up as well. And what this is going to help us to do is to work on anti-rotation. So what that is basically you're working on keeping your body stable and not rotating when you don't want to. So you should be rotating when you're throwing a punch, but whenever you're moving forward and back, you should try and be as strong as possible in your core. Now this differs for whichever stance that you like to fight in. Karate stance, of course, will be more bladed. Boxing stance is a little bit more square, kind of like half, and then Muay Thai is definitely you're just straight on. So it depends, but this is really good for working on your core and working on your footwork at the same time. Then we have the reverse stance walk. So we're just keeping the same stance, but instead of having the band under us, we're gonna go over the shoulder. And next is you're gonna be your resistance band long jump. So keep the band straight out in front of you with your hand like a fist. And this is gonna activate your serratus anterior. When you do the jump, it's gonna be able to make that stronger while you land because you're trying not to rotate at all as well. So your serratus anterior is responsible for any pushing type of movement, any type of movement where your hand is going away from you, such as bench press, any type of push movement, push-ups, and especially punches. So you want to make sure that this muscle is being incorporated into your balance and strength and your core work, because this will help you to be a little bit more like stable and harder to move when you're in your fighting stance. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video has helped you. You can use these exercises for any type of training, but especially for you fighters out there, don't neglect the balance work. Accessory skills like this is really important for when you're going to be competing, or if you just want to like take off season and be better in that couple of months. So we'll catch you on the next Technique Tuesday. My name is Joshua D'Souza and this is Round 5 Fit, and we'll see you next week. Peace out.